at home. Don't you dare be sour. Clap for Hammer the Point and feel the power. Yes. Yes, 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 it's Hammer the Point, the best YouTube show about West Ham United. Yeah, that's right. And it features Ray and friends. You got to tune in right now. Everything related to West Ham United is right here on Hammer the Point.
Cracks me up every time. I love it. Welcome to Hammers the Point, your show that's hosted by me, Ray Mysterio. Tonight, we have been graced with the presence, the Almighty, the Lord himself, Tim. Tim's in the show. Justin's about to drink. How you doing, Tim?
Awesome.
How'd you think about the intro?
I actually spent the whole time with a grin on my face. I loved it. You know what's funny is that I actually felt the power this time because I felt like I was in it. You know what I mean? So I give a thumbs up here.
That's not what he said off air.
It's not what he said off air.
No, I didn't feel it. Now I just felt it, man. Felt the power.
Well, it looks like I've got my son with me. Dominic, how you doing? Charlie, you okay?
I'm good, Father. How are you?
I'm good. Batista himself, David. How you doing, David?
I'm doing lovely. Thank you for asking.
Good.
Another day, another dollar. Hanging in there.
Exactly. Well, tonight's show is going to be very positive because tonight we tune in to a 3-0 win. How are we enjoying it? Tim, what do you think of the game? Did you get to watch it?
I didn't get to watch it. I just followed along with the live results. And I was impressed, and I was mostly impressed with the fact that we heard a lot of names that a lot of people thought were dead or disappeared, or I thought so and so was injured and won't be playing for a while. Well, he not only played but got an assist, and then the other guy who's useless gets a goal, and the other guy who should fuck off is another assist guy. So I was very, very happy to see the results as they came in.
Yeah. And did you like to see some of the youth players come in as well? There's a couple of new names I haven't even heard of.
Yeah, I wish I saw it. You know, I wish I get to see them, but it was nice to see, nice to hear that Ben Johnson did so well. Minus the yellow card, obviously. But I was definitely glad to see some new, fresh names on the team sheet, and with a win though, not just for the sake of it, but actually win. Yeah,
a good win against a League One team that we normally struggle against. So, David, did you get to watch the game?
I didn't get to watch it. You had to pay to watch if you were in the UK. I didn't even know how to do it in the US. My usual illegal stream site that I won't mention didn't have it. So I just watched some updates on West Ham Fan TV and just updates in general on cum.com. From what I understand, Masuaku played very well. Anderson played very well. Haller had good service. We've got to take into account it's a League One side, so it's a little bit easier to beat that player. You have a little more space. I understand Cullen played very well, but people on the forums were saying he still looks a little slow for a Premier League player. So although many players had good performances, we have to consider the opposition. But I don't think there's any negative news from this result. Especially like you said, Ray, we've lost against League One sides. I think Oxford United we lost against last year. So a win is a win is a good thing.
A win's a win. Charlie, my boy. What did you do a live stream of it?
I did. Me and young Tom did our live stream on Hammers Chat, watching it.
Don't be promoting other shows here. Don't you do that. I
was too late. I've done it.
Tell me off.
I was too late. Mate, Tim can tell you off, mate. He can't tell me nothing. I watched the match. We both watched it. We both paid for it. Well, one of us paid for it. The other person got it paid for. I watched it. It was good. It was nice to see us playing with a bit of swagger and confidence. I mean, like the front sort of four players specifically, just linking up really well, linking like nice little intricate passing flows, people standing up and taking their man on. something you don't really see very often. And then you've got those like the two youth players specifically in Cullen and Johnson doing really well. And it was just nice to watch. It was nice to, like, the second half as we came out, I said it on the stream, but I was like, we're good. We've got this wrapped up. This is nice. We can just sit down and relax and just enjoy 45 minutes of football. The only thing I could complain about was David Moyes' subs, but yeah, that's by the by. Say that, do you know what I mean? That's just what life is. So yeah, no, it was really nice. It was a good match.
I think last season's chats that we used to have was all about Moyes and his substitutions. How bad was it? So it looks like it's going to carry on this year. But with that, who was your standout players for that game?
I really liked. I mean, to be fair, I don't think there were many bad performances. If any, I'd probably say there were no outright bad performances. Some people had negatives to their name and cons to their name, but I don't think anyone was outwardly bad. The best performance for me were probably, I thought Yarmolenko played really, really well. I mean, the thing about that front four, specifically if we're talking about Lanzini, Yarmolenko and Anderson, is they were so clearly better than Charlton. Like, Charlton defenders, didn't know what to handle them, and they were flicking it between each other, step overs, cutbacks. Like, they just looked so composed in front of the defence, which is something we're not really used to seeing at West Ham too often. I mean, obviously the opposition has something to do with that, but Yarmolenko I thought was very, very good. There was never a moment where he looked. How do I word this? He basically had them on ice the entire game. He was really, really good. I thought Lanzini played well. I thought Anderson played well. Cullen was great. Cullen was legitimately great. I've got a slight blind spot for him, so people might disagree with me, and I'd be fine, and I'll accept that because I do. He's not Hugo, but he's getting there. But I've never seen him play bad, and there was something that just stood out to me today about his passing was just on point. Like, he would look up and he would see Yarmolenko making a run, for example, for the first goal, the first Haller goal. And he just pinged a 30-yard pass directly into his path, waited perfectly over the top. And it's something we don't see enough. We don't see that sort of kind of pass. He just has a confidence and a...
That's what Noble used to do.
Yeah, it's what he used to do. And it's what he doesn't do now because he's been crammed into the dirt by various measures. But yeah, you're totally right. It's what Scott Parker used to do. And he's just great. And he has the work rate and combative nature of a Noble or a Scott Parker as well. But he adds in that sort of youthful exuberance to do that sort of nonsense. And he was excellent. Like, it's my man of the match was Cullen because of it. Just watching him was just hype for me.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. So do you see him as like the taking over the throne of Noble in the future? Because how many more seasons we got with Mark Noble?
I hope so. I think in the short term, depressingly, I think he takes Snodgrass's position. He just isn't like I asked. It's not at all. But I asked. It's depressing for Snodgrass to an extent. But I asked Tom on the stream. I said we were talking about Snodgrass or Cullen. I was like, well, which would you rather play? And it's a difficult question because obviously Snodgrass has such a specific amount of such a specific set of attributes that the rest of the squad don't have, the dead ball deliveries and everything else. But Cullen has youth on his side, energy on his side, and just a bunch of other things that make him playable for me. Like if he started against Arsenal ahead of Noble, for example, I would understand it. I don't think he takes his place in the squad yet. But first step is Snodgrass, then Noble sort of thing, and then we work our way from there. But he needs to get his chance in the Premier League this year because he does it every year on loan. Every year he goes out on loan, wins Player of the Year, does all this amazing stuff, comes back, looks great in preseason friendlies, then goes out again. And he says himself, he's 24 at this point. He needs to be getting that Premier League game time, and he deserves it, especially after today. If there was a couple of players who put in performances where you're like, that's them putting their step on the team saying, play me. I should be playing. He's definitely one of them.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's beautiful to hear. And yeah, you're right. Yeah. 24, it's a time that he's got to be given his chance. And that's why I did say, I would look to have sold Snodgrass in the window more than most of other players. And what it also says to me is that, I've been saying it in the show, competition for the attacking positions is really good. You've got Yarmolenko, Bowen on the right-hand side. You've got Anderson and you should have had Dean Garner on that left-hand side. You got Haller, Antonio up front, Lanzini, Fornals, dare I say Wilshere as well, in that attacking midfielder role. You've got Noble, you've got Snodgrass, you've got Rice, you've got Souček, you've got Callum. There's so many good positions that all we needed to do was buy a left back, a right back. I think we would have had a really good season, a decent thing. Tim, what do you reckon? Do you reckon I'm talking on some sense here, or do you reckon I'm just talking waffle?
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. That's all we needed, and unfortunately, we did sell Ghana. So, was Anderson that bad today? Like, did
That is
he
really
do
good,
okay?
apparently.
Yeah,
I thought he was really good.
For me,
I thought he was really good.
Everyone seemed to agree he played pretty well.
do we exactly what he's capable of? We just need to figure out a way, or not we, but Moyes is going to figure out a way to use him and get the best out of him on a weekly basis, right? I mean, so who else do we have on left?
Literally no one.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we got
we
gotta do it.
played Fornals there, but Fornals is out of position there.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
We have to find a way to play Fornals at center attack midfielder, Anderson left wing, Bowen or Yarmolenko right wing, Haller or Antonio at striker, but then there's a build up there. We can't play Antonio on the right wing because we already have Yarmolenko and Bowen there. So
Yeah.
Cameron in the chat.
See what I'm saying?
Masuaku. That's a backup winger. Left wing. Good one, Cameron.
Do you know what? That's not bad. Like, I would rather have Dean Garner there, but it's not
Obviously.
a bad shout. But he still needs buy left.
as a third choice. Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
could be worse, I suppose. Yeah. So I don't know. I think we're okay. And like you said, there are a couple of positions that we still desperately need to have a good season. But I really don't. I think we should all get off Anderson's case, though. Like for those, not saying you guys, but just saying for those who are on his case, I think we should just give him because the guy is fucking capable. He's absolutely capable of a good game, right?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
just this League One performance. I'm talking about like in the past, he's put up a good game where we're like, holy shit, like, he can do some cool stuff. Well, that's great, but we just need to bring him in, I guess.
Oh, yeah, and totally. And like, even when, I don't want to say his name, but I'm going to have to. Gio was talking about him not being able to defend. I used to look at him and like, he was getting balls off the line. How's he not defending, Gio? What are you saying? I'm not.
yeah, I think it's a myth that he doesn't track back. I think when he's saddled with a weak left back like Aaron Cresswell, then he has to go back to cover for him, and then he's not so good going forward. I think he's had 2 periods of brilliance when the fullback and him were working together well. But I think as long as Cresswell is his left back partner, he's going to be stuck in between. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry that Anderson is not Julian Faubert, and he is the whole right side or the whole left side. Like he was a fucking beast, that guy. I'm sorry he's not that quality, but I'm just kidding. But
I don't know. I think the thing is, I think he does track back, and I think he does defend well. And I think, again, I don't want to lean on statistics, but statistically he does.
Yeah.
Like it's. I think it's kind of. I think you're right. I think it's a total myth. I think it's frustrating. I think we look at it as if he's not doing it because I don't think he has that presence that other people have. Like he's just not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Correct.
He's not a big guy. He doesn't give off this like dominating presence. So we tend to think he's not doing it. Whereas if you actually look at it, he's doing it. And not only is he doing it, he's doing it with damn sight more than most of the other team.
Yeah, I will say he's doing it, but then when he does that thing where since he's had to track back or he hasn't got good service and he's over there in the left-hand corner, his body language does kind of sometimes get down. And I think that's what that's what the supporters see sometimes that they don't like. I think the overall statistics are there that he's still doing well. But his body language, I think, is lacking sometimes. And I think that may be kind of his biggest weakness and why the supporters don't get behind
We can all agree that even what Foe said, I mean, it's a weak left back situation there. I mean, it's a matter of like, it's not the guy's fucking job to be constantly tracking back, like the whole fucking time, like really playing left back as well as that wing. So whatever, give the guy a chance.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm a big Anderson fan. I've got a Brazilian shirt under my desk somewhere. Love it. And do you know what? I would have probably loved Moyes to look at a left back Brazilian that he could have brought in to get him a little friend. To get him a little friend.
Buddy. Yeah,
Little
friend.
buddy. Someone that he can go around London, have a little Brazilian salsa dance, whatever it is. Samba. Yes, Samba.
What the hell are you talking about, bro?
I don't know many some. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, it would have been nice to have and there would be a better understanding on that left-hand side. You know, two Brazilians talk the same language. You know, would have been perfect for me, ideally. But Charlie, we have got to be worried, haven't we? Me and you, the English, have got to be worried because apparently the Americans are trying to take over.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I know the first bid was a little too low, but I went back to the guys and said, listen, we need to do a second bid. So, and these guys are cheap bastards. I'm like, listen, Charlie told me that they will not sell by 2023. And I was on a mission with my consortium that I'm like, no, I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm going to fucking prove him wrong. And I'm going to show them how cheap these fucking bastards are. And sure enough, these GSB bastards, they just won't bite. So I think it would. I'm telling you, 800 million will be the next bid, and they'll buy. I mean, they'll bite. So.
But realistically, Tim, what do you think of this consortium? They apparently got the Las Vegas Raiders. Are they any good? What do you reckon?
Are they any good? No. I mean, well, I don't know about the owners, but I just know the fucking team. No, it was a smart buy. Look, I want it to happen. I am desperate to prove Becky and Charlie wrong, that they will sell before 2023, and it's gonna happen. And I'll fucking go fly out to Vegas myself to make sure that they do that, if I have to. So,
David, are you a Raiders fan? Are you excited?
I am not a Raiders fan. I'm a gigantic Patriots fan as I reside outside the city of Boston and have followed the New England Patriots since they were the joke of the National Football League. So that's my backstory. But I agree with you, Charlie and Ray, that they would not sell to 2023, but we have to hope that things just get so bad that then they're forced to sell. I don't know about how good this so-called American consortium is going to be good at running a football club or a European football club or whatever you want to call it. But what's happening now is not working. So let's try something new. From what I understand, they made a 350 million pound bid. Then they moved it up to 400 million pounds. Now they're going to take a break, according to the article I read in the Guardian by Jacob Steinberg. And I think they're kind of going to wait to see if it gets worse. They're going to wait to see if the finances are that we don't sign many other players. It makes a difference. And then the owners, GSB, are losing slightly more money. And then I think they're going to try to force their hand. But I think a lot is up in the air. This could all be rumors. It could be not. But let's see what happens. I don't think we know enough information to know how it's going to pan
out. Tim, was you going to jump in there?
no, I just agree with them.
I thought you was getting excited on your chair there.
Oh, yeah, I'm fucking pumped. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
So, Charlie.
I'm sorry. I saw Charlie Boy's comment in the chat, and I was like, that's my boy. So, anyway.
He seems very excited about anyone who agrees with him. I would say this. Look, I think.
I've got a bit of an intro.
Go on, lay out.
Is the rebel force about to take over from the Empire, Charlie?
Somehow I knew you'd fit Star Wars in somehow. And I respect it. I do respect it. It's interesting. It's nothing I didn't think was already existing, but the fact that there seems to have been a formal bid is the most interesting thing to me. It's something the Guardian article mentioned that it's something that I've sort of spoken about before when we've spoken about it, but like inquiries happened a lot. Like, don't think the conversations don't happen in the same way that just because Chelsea, when they first got money, didn't sign Ronaldinho, don't think they didn't try. You know, don't think that people don't have conversations with people behind the scenes. But what's interesting to me about the whole thing is that they seem to have had a specific, like, actual bid turned away. With the ownership, I still don't believe that will go before I still don't believe they'll go before 2023 unless there's a large bid. And by a large bid, I mean something more significant than 350, 400. Because in reality, this is such a huge deal for GSB, specifically for Golden Sullivan. This is the biggest deal they're probably going to broker in their entire lives.
And
Like,
this is what they've been waiting for. This is the reason they bought West Ham United.
Yeah. Like it's I agree. I think their thing, like the fact that when they came in their first press conference and were like, we're moving into the London Stadium, we're working our way from there. Like, it's been so clear in their minds from the get-go that they were going to move into the Olympic Stadium and then they were going to sell the club essentially. And that's what I mean. It's so big. If we talk about Sullivan being a billionaire, for example, part of that money of his net worth is his value of the club, how much he owns in the club. He owns 50% of the club. So let's just take 50% to make my maths easy because I'm an idiot, right?
I believe it's 51%.
There we go, 51. I'm going to take 50 though because it's easier as a number. But if you take the 50, so say they sold it for 400 million, he stands to get 200 million from that. That's a fifth of his worth. It's monumentally large, this deal for them. That's why I don't believe it's either going to have to be a monumentally large deal or it's not happening until 2023 when they can get the most amount of money possible. The fact that, like, when it comes,
you said it wasn't going to happen at all until 2023.
No. I've been saying, if there's a monumentally large, but that's because I don't think a large deal's coming in. I don't think there's a deal large enough that's going to come in to make them go, okay, fine. Because if the difference is however many million it is, right? Let's say it's 20 million extra, right? Mm-hmm. I think it'd probably be more than that, but let's just say, for example, if they wait till 2023, they get 20 million extra. That might not seem large in the grand scheme of things, but I think, at least from my position, I would happily have 60,000 people boo me once a week for 3 years if it meant that at the end of it, I got 20 million pounds. You mad? Of course I would. Yeah. Easy. No problem for me.
Charlie, but in this respect, they lost, I believe, 28 million pounds, or the club lost 28 million pounds or 20 million pounds, according to the Guardian article. I think they earned 17 million pounds on the loan. But if they continue to lose additional money until 2023 due to the coronavirus, due to the loss of gates, gate revenue, and product selling, they could say that, that 200 million is going to become 150 million or 120 million, and then they may try to offset that loss by selling them earlier. I'm not saying that's going to happen, and I know those numbers are just cooked up in my head immediately. Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? They could calculate that they could lose too much money in these next 2.5 years or whatever, to where then they need to offset it by selling it just a little bit earlier and getting that loss for not selling it 2023.
They've already turned down 350, and then what was the second one? Was 400
million, yeah.
400. So them selling at 400 is already out. They're not going to do that. So
we know they want to go higher.
The difference of 50 million. So it'd probably take like 650. If they came back and said, "Fuck it, here's 650, our final offer," blah blah blah. You don't think they'd take that?
I do, yeah, but that bid's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie that I think they would accept 650 million. I don't think that consortium is going to go that high.
Yeah, I think that would be a buy. Sure, I think the buying point, like 650, of course they take it. 600, they take it. 500, they would take it. I don't think we're getting that high though. I think in reality, we're looking at a situation where we're also not worth that much. And if you're a consortium coming in to buy it, if you're a bloke if you're some bloke who has this much money, and you're not going to buy something for more than it's worth just to buy it, you know, it's a huge amount of money to spend on something. It's not like I might buy. I don't know. I'm at the airport. I buy a Kit Kat. It's like £1. It shouldn't be. It should be 50p, but I'm hungry. That's different than buying a club for 500 million as opposed to 300 million when it's not worth that. You know.
You're right.
I don't. Go on.
I think that. Well, first of all, it's not just one person. So it's a group of people.
Of course,
that have obviously analyzed this and said, you know what? If they're actually willing to go as high as 400 million, they realize the value of a Premier League club. And obviously, they see. Not just, okay, we're going to make money right away off this. They see the future of it. So if they're willing to fork over that much money, I don't see what another fucking 200 million is going to do. And they could still make their fucking money back over their assessed period of time. I think that they were just starting low, just like any other fucking negotiation.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Eventually getting up there.
Yeah, of course, but at the same time, the negotiation wouldn't have started with them rocking up and going, right, we're going to give 350 million to the club. Like there would have been pre-discussions before that, you know. It's not like eBay where you just rock up and you say how much you're going to buy. Like, it's buying a Premier League football club. There's a lot more to it. These people would have had conversations with them already. There would have been sort of like feelers put out and lots of other things going on. It's not just them emailing David Sullivan like he does with football players and going, can we conclude this soon? Otherwise I'm borrowing a player from PSG. Like, it's not, you know what I mean?
They're kind of pulling a David Sullivan on David Sullivan, starting with a low ball offer, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Realistically,
usually David Sullivan doesn't get
I don't think it's that low. I think it's probably what we're worth, if we're being honest. But that's what I mean. I think I just don't think David would. I don't think David Sullivan specifically and David Gold would allow it to happen unless it was a large offer. And otherwise, we're waiting until 2023. Yeah. I think that when it comes to those owners specifically, though, like, I'm very, very for it. Like, specifically when you compare it to like the other options, for example, in the article, the Guardian article, or was it the Guardian article? Was it X? It might have been X, actually, who stated that they were interested and so were a Qatari consortium and a Saudi consortium. Bruv, I'm picking the Americans 500 times a year and twice on Sundays. Like, yes. Like, I like, when it comes to the problem with selling a Premier League club is they're so expensive that there's only specific people who can buy it. And when it comes to like the Newcastle thing, shocked me how super keen Newcastle fans were to be taken over by a murderous regime who don't like human rights. They were like, listen, right, they might be killing people, but they might buy Kylian Mbappe. And I'm like, no. Like, when it comes to like American sports, like, there are some notable, there's two great examples of American owners in the Premier League. You have Arsenal and you have Liverpool. And like, very contrasting things. You have the Arsenal method where he spends no money on it, everything is self-sustaining, and they've struggled, although they've started to got a couple of signs now of actually growing back into an okay team. Yeah, but they've been bad for a long.
That's Stan Kroenke, right? I believe his name.
Yeah, and then you have Liverpool, who are like the Gillettes, and they have like a huge amount of money, and they've not spent it though. They've been smart about the way they've spent it. They've tactically bought people. They've built a footballing infrastructure to make it work. And that's because that's the way these things work. Like, they came in, they're like, we're not football people. And to be fair to Kroenke done the same thing. It's just they had such a much lesser budget because they moved into a stadium and all of this other stuff. My God, would I take that so quickly? Like, either of them. And I'm not talking about it because I think they're going to make us Premier League champions. Just the idea of buying a director of football for a start makes me giddy. Like, park that big Mack truck right in my little garage, bro. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, to quote Nicki Minaj and all that. Like, seriously, like, it's such a perfect, like, it's the best scenario for us. Because if it's that, or keeping David Sullivan, or alternatively murderous regime, Americans are 10,000%. So I hope. So Tim, I hope I'm wrong. My God, do I hope I'm wrong? Because I've already said I'm not.
Regime.
I've already.
Where's the proof?
Oh, bruv, the dead bodies, isn't it? Listen,
in the desert, how are you gonna find them?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not going there to find them. I'm just telling you they exist. I'm not going there to find them there. But yeah, I hope I'm wrong. I genuinely hope I'm wrong because, I mean, for a start, I've already said I'm not going back to the ground till GSP settle. So the sooner the better. Could we speed this along, please? But yeah.
Just want to say, hammer the point. Does not take the same views as Charlie. So don't kill me. Kill Charlie.
Remember, he's my dad. Do you remember that? He is my dad. So I've said that.
I don't pay child support. Don't worry. David, got a question for you.
Ask away.
What is the minimum you will take? What was the minimum they will take to sell? Do you reckon?
I think 650 million.
6? Tim?
6 or 650.
For some fucking weird reason, I think, I don't know, my brain keeps saying 5, but I think that realistically, because of that whole stupid 2023 bullshit, and then just the stupidity of our owners to begin with, they're going to try to hold off and try to juice or try to get as much out of the Americans as possible. So I say 650. Well, I agree with that. I think, dude, 650 comes to the table, man. And I honestly, I swear to God, that 400 million bid is not the last bid from the Americans, and it's not going to go in increments. I mean, once it gets up to a certain point, I mean, it'll show how bad they want the fucking thing. And I really think that they want it. And I just have this feeling that I don't know, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they sold for 5 or something like that, but they're definitely going to get up there. And but no, I just have this feeling that I wouldn't be surprised if 500, but I think 650.
650. Oh, Charlie, what do you reckon?
Currently, I would say if it was today, I think 500 would be the biting point. In 2023, 400.
You think it would go down?
2023, yeah. Because they don't have to pay. They don't have to pay extra stuff. And by that point, let's be real, it's going to be 3 years of hell. But I think it goes down. I think it's less. And also, I think we're not going to get any better. I don't think between now and 2023 we're going to be significantly better as a team. So,
well, I think because of these leaks of the amounts of things, West Ham fans want Gold, Sullivan, Brady out. So if we keep piling on the pressure, if we keep doing it, I reckon they will get out for as little as 450. But that's if the fans keep piling on the pressure, you know, going on to TalkSport and saying how crap it is to Jim White or whatever it is. Because I do feel like just listening to some of their conversations out, they do sound a bit rattled. Like, why are they phoning Simon Jordan halfway through the show or near the end of the show? Well, that's a bit suspicious. So, yeah, I can see them being a bit rattled. You know, cheeking up. Give it a couple of weeks. See what the results are like. If we're doing crap because Moyes is not doing us any favours with his substitution, his game plan, or whatever, the pressure from the fans are going to get more intense. And if we get back in that stadium, they're going to want to out very quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I'd be surprised. They might turn up to the games, but when all that crowd comes surrounding them, they're going to want to get out. And if they start going to, you know, waiting for them as they're driving out and stuff like that.
I honestly believe that as long as the media never picked up on it, I don't think they give a rat's tail what goes on inside that stadium. I honestly don't. I honestly think if Sky Sports and TalkSport, well, less TalkSport because Sky Sports and actual places that mean anything. I think if they didn't pick up on it and they didn't report on it, I think they'd happily take a protest every single game. As long as they stayed in the Premier League, I don't think they care. I really don't. I think they're really thick-skinned. I think that they understand. Again, this is the biggest deal of their lives. It just is, and it's got such a huge amount riding on it, not only in a money sense, but also in a pride sense, also in public perception sense. Because let's be real, after we moved into that stadium, they were not liked by the world. The country was not fans of them because they felt like the country had a feeling that we, or specifically them, but also West Ham United as a club, had ripped off the country, had got something for free that they shouldn't have gotten, that they weren't paying enough and all of this other stuff. Now, once the country realised that actually we've been shafted here and the stadium is a load of bollocks, then they stopped talking about that. But I genuinely don't think they care. I think they look at it and they say, do you know what? You can complain as much as you like. As long as we've got Premier League football and at the end of it, we have our payday, then it's fine. The second the media starts talking about it and those outside pressures start looking in, because again, this deal is huge. Not only for them, but the government's got a stake in it. All of these people have stakes in it. That's when they start to care. And that's why they'll go up, Simon, they're saying mean things. We're nice, really. Like, nah. Also, can I just say, TalkSport? No. Let's all just stop looking at TalkSport. I don't have a West Ham Twitter account anymore, but I check any West Ham Twitter and it's got like retweets of like people going, TalkSport are rubbish because they've quote retweeted them. I'm like, they're getting so much free publicity of this nonsense. We need to stop giving it to them, really, dear, because they're just trolls. They're just trolls.
Charlie, Tim, sorry. Is this the end game for him? Is there any? Well, the other thing is we need to get him out for as cheap as we possibly can, because the more the owners spend, the less transfer key they're going to have. Is that not right?
I mean, I guess you're right. You know, why don't all these groups get together and shit like that instead? You know, do their own little boycott and stuff like that and protest. Why don't we all just pitch in all our fucking money together as supporters and help the consortium reach that number that we need to reach? Or we could pay for the transfer kitty or something like that for some ownership points. I don't know. Not like that, but no, you're right.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You're right.
£10,000 fine for more than 6 people at the moment, so
I know.
don't want to worry that.
Listen, if they have the fucking money, they get the money, or they know how to get the money. And especially when you're talking that much money that they've already offered, these people have access to fucking money. Like they'll find it, they'll get it, they'll do what they got to do, and we'll have a transfer kitty, or we can just sell some fucking people. That's simple, right? Sell some guys.
I know you think it'd be easy, wouldn't you?
Well, it would be with the director of football, right, Charlie?
I strongly agree. I do strongly agree. Strongly agree.
The world will change when we have a director of football.
David, you got anything else you want to add on to that point? Or should we just move on?
No, I think there's a lot of moving parts. I think we're dealing with coronavirus. We're dealing with the revenue stream that the owners thought they would have that they wouldn't have. Let's see how desperate it gets. I think it all depends on how desperate it gets. You know what I mean? I think it's lucky for the owners, like you said before, Ray, that there's no fans or supporters who can come to this actual stadium. But if it gets ugly, even without the supporters going to this London stadium, they may be forced to sell if the offer is high enough. But I think there's too many moving parts at this point and too much speculation to predict accurately what's going to happen. Let's just monitor the situation and hope that GSP sell.
Yeah. And again, I did notice in the chat, if Red Bull or any Saudis want to sponsor the show, just hook me up. Yeah. We'll take your money finally. Right, so on to this weekend. We have a big game, tedious link by Charlie with the Americans over there playing Arsenal. How are you feeling about this game? Dave, what do you reckon? Any good? Are you feeling confident?
Well, I'm not feeling good about it, and here's why in a nutshell. I think that we have two teams, to simplify it. We have, or at least an attacking team. We have the team of Pellegrini signings. We have Haller. We have, Lanzini was before that, but he's that type of player. We have Anderson. We have Yarmolenko. They play a certain brand of football and probably play together well. Then we have the more post-Pellegrini players, even though some of them were signed before too. But we have Bowen, we have Antonio. Fornals, even though he was signed under Pellegrini, Moyes seems to rate him. And it seems like we can't kind of all fit those attacking players in a fashion that makes sense. It also seems like Moyes trusts Noble a little bit as that third midfielder. I would rather put Fornals as a center attacking midfielder and then have Rice and Soucek. To partner with Rice and Soucek. I just don't think we've found our best formation. And I think Arsenal are in pretty good form considering how they finished the restart, considering how they beat Fulham in their first game. I think it was very smart what David Moyes did last campaign after the restart, to stick with his lineup. We're playing a lot of games, drill the players, condition them, wait for the other teams to get tired. We were, by and large, after the first 4 games, playing lower table teams. But now we're playing higher table teams, and we have to think of a new game plan. And David Moyes is not known for being inventive. He's going to have to figure a way to find the best attacking players and settle the midfield and deal with those fullback problems. And I think it's tough.
Tim, what do you reckon? Do you reckon we stand a chance? Aubameyang just signed a new contract with Arsenal.
He did. Yeah.
And Tetaz getting them playing really well. Arsenal are known to start really slow, and they're starting off fast paced at the moment. Yeah. You concerned? You worried?
I'm just worried. I'm not worried about. I can't say I'm not worried about Arsenal, but I'm more worried about us. I'm more worried about Moyes. Yeah. I'm more worried about. Like Dave was saying, we don't have a formation. I mean, he thinks he has a formation, but I swear to God, Ray, it's like you and I playing Football Manager, where we think we know what we're doing. We have our formation that we like. We try to fit and mix and match with the players that we think would fit that system, and not all the time it works. I think he's doing the same. I think he's winging it half the time, like looking at I don't know, man. Just the way the first match went, it looked like he just fucking winged it. He didn't really study the opposition and didn't really think about what the matchups were. And I don't know why he played fucking Noble. I mean, let alone I know we benched him at some point, but a little too long for me. Like, the guy's playing like dog shit. Get him off. You know what I mean? Like, that should have been done earlier. So again, I don't quite trust him yet. I mean, the 3-0 victory today was great, but that doesn't do enough for me to have the faith in him. Honest to God, this whole thing just upsets me. Like ever since the whole restart, even though we won those matches again, it's just fucking scrimmages, man, to me. And I don't know if even he or the players take it 100% seriously the whole time, and it just doesn't feel right. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if he gets it or if it's even if it matters right now until the fucking fans come back and start, creating an impact. Because the players looked like most of the time with no fans, man. The players just they don't have those crowds fucking getting on their ass or not or I don't know. I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
Okay.
I'm worried about us. Bottom line, yeah, I'm not worried about them.
Well, I don't know about your save on a Football Manager. Mine looks pretty damn good. I'm undefeated.
You use the fucking editor. That's why, you bastard. You fucking.
I cannot confirm or deny.
Transfer budget of fucking 750 million. Of course, yeah, you can do that. Move
That's
this
a
player to
lie.
my club without even fucking transfer fee. Oh yeah, I know how you play.
I might have transferred a few players for free. Maybe.
I
But
know
anyway,
you, man. I do the same shit. That's why. Anyway.
one day I might pay it really, and then maybe live stream it from here. I don't know.
I played it
Charlie-
one time in my life, fucking really, man. And I played fucking Truro City FC because I wanted to go see how low I could go and see if I could bring a fucking team up. And I got promoted twice, and then the next fucking season I couldn't get fucking promoted for the life of me. And then I said, fuck this, I'm never playing it straight again. I hate fucking losing. So anyway.
Well, I tried to create a club. I know we're getting sidetracked, sorry, guys. But I tried to create London FC, but there's a team in like Canada or somewhere that's actually London FC. I was like, what?
Ontario, yeah.
Wow.
I was like, I can't. I want to get him out. I want to get him a Premiership. Come on. So, yeah. I go,
Anyway.
Charlie, another Football Manager. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we got a chance on this weekend?
Yeah, I'm more confident against Arsenal than I am against Newcastle. Weirdly, we just play better against teams who attack. Like it's just a fact of life. Like we play this counter-attacking football, and when another team counter-attack and defends against us, there you go, Squire. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. 2 + 2 does not equal 4 in that sense, and it's frustrating to watch because it's a boring game. Do you know what I mean? That's the international symbol for defensive football. Did you not know that? Yeah, it just doesn't work. Whereas Arsenal obviously are going to go for us. And if they do, that leaves space, and we can actually play counter-attacking game. Does that mean I think we'll win? Hell no. But I'm more confident about doing something against Arsenal. Like if you said to me today, we lose 3-0 to Arsenal, I'd go, yeah, sure, makes sense. If you said to me we beat Arsenal 1-0, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I can see that. I can't see anything else, but I'm more confident against them than I am against Newcastle.
Okay. And you've after seeing the game today, what would be your front four? So your striker and then attacking midfield. What would you put them?
Haller starts up front. Yarmolenko on the right. Fornals in the centre.
Oh, even though Lanzini had a good game.
Yeah, but Fornals has been having good games for like 6 months at this point. Yeah, I do think. Don't get me wrong. I think he had a good game, and he's had some good preseason games as well. But Fornals has been here since January. He's been having consistently good games. Do you know what I mean? It's. But left wing, I can't decide. It's either Antonio or Anderson. My gut says Anderson, but I don't know.
So you don't think my boy Bowen is in the team?
I think Yarmolenko played so well, it's difficult not to include him. I also think he's just got such a different quality about him. Again, if you'd asked me before today, I would have said Bowen every single time.
Yeah.
And obviously the recency bias of having watched the game literally this afternoon is making me go, oh, maybe. But yeah, maybe. Either way, you've got a great substitution to come on in Bowen or Yarmolenko. But yeah, probably if I was to push myself right now, it'd be Haller up front, Yarmolenko on the right, Fornals down the center, and Antonio on the left, which I don't like saying, but yeah.
Ooh. Tim, what do you reckon? What would your front four you'd like to see?
I would love Yarmolenko on the right. That would be absolutely my fucking choice. But I do not see Moyes doing that. Moyes is a fucking moron sometimes. And it's almost like there's certain players that he has to play when it's Premier League matches. I think that Bowen definitely gets in there. I think Antonio is going to end up starting, which he should definitely play Allaire, and Allaire has every fucking right to. But I swear to God, he loves fucking Antonio too, because of what he did in the past. I mean, yes. Only a few months ago, that's the past. I'm sorry. If you saw what he did against Newcastle, he does not deserve to fucking start, man. Anyway, so I would say personally, Allaire, Yarmolenko. I'd put Bowen over Fornals, but again, that Moyes would never do that. I mean, Moyes is playing Fornals, and I think he might even play him in the left and play Bowen in the center. But all right, let me backtrack this and make this simple here. Allaire, Yarmolenko. I want Anderson, man, and I fucking want. I'd rather have Bowen than Fornals, and then in the center, Rice.
Bowen in the center.
Rice and Souček, and then
you'd really rather have Bowen than Fornals. In the sort of central role, sorry, specifically.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, I just feel that Bowen is more of for whatever reason he's more of a. I like to use the word threat more. When I say threat, I think of Bowen versus Fornals. Fornals is just he could find himself in the right place at the right time, but it's not as much. He's not as much of a threat as Bowen. Bowen's more of an attacking fucking force. That can support, and I trust his judgment to. I've seen highlights and shit where he can fucking feed it off to somebody else, which in my eyes would be Allaire up there. But it's gonna be fucking Antonio. I swear to God, you guys watch, man. But anyway,
it will be. Yeah, that's again to be clear. That's what I would play. It's not what we're starting. What we're starting with is Bowen on the right. We're starting with Fornals on the left. We're starting with Antonio up front. It's going to be the exact same team it's been the entire time.
Noble. It's going to be this. Same fucking.
Yeah, 100%.
They'll use the excuse of I'm resting those guys that just played on Tuesday. But So I say Souček and Rice, and then obviously Anderson on the left, and then the back four. Christ, I'd play fucking. You know what? I'll play fucking 5 more midfielders before I play any of our back four. How about that?
I think I've got a front four.
Yeah, I mean, Fredericks had a decent game. I mean, he was my man of the match on that fucking shit squad against Newcastle, because he did the least amount of fucking garbage. I would have Fredericks, and I'd probably put Ben Johnson on the left just for shits and giggles, and Ogbonna and Balbuena, because I'll never fucking put Diop in any of my squads. And then I would put David Martin in goal.
Oh, we're ignoring mine bit. David, what would you think for?
Robbie Hart in the chat is actually speaking my language even before he made his comments. I would do Anderson on the left wing, Haller at striker, Bowen on the right, Fornals at center attack midfield. I think that's a combination of creativity and kind of the grifters that David Moyes prefers. I thought Bowen just had an excellent time after the restart. I think his poor performance against Newcastle was just based upon the game we played, and our midfield was weak, and you could see him getting drawn to the center of the pitch instead of going to the wing. I think if you give him space to go on the wing, you kind of spread out with attack-minded players, but we also are able to put in some work other than Anderson, who we did say puts in the work, but he's not a physical player. I also agree that Yarmolenko is better as a sub. I love his game, but he's kind of that creative player who bursts down the right wing, kicks it towards the center, beats tired players. That's the way Moyes has used him. So I would love to see Yarmolenko as the super sub in for Bowen. I think Bowen can play a little wider and test Arsenal's defense a little more. So I would like to see Anderson, Haller, Bowen, Fornals, center attack midfield. Noble out of the lineup, Rice, Souček at midfield. Then I guess you're stuck with Fredrickson, Cresswell, and then Agbana, Diop, and Fabianski.
Diop's trash.
I would say we could really consider in the future, has nothing to do with this game, but if we sign someone like Tarkowski or someone vastly worse, but who's just a stay-at-home physical defender, we could consider going 3-5-2. And then we could have 3 center backs. We could have Masuaku. We could have Fredericks, 2 midfielders, and then we could adjust those attacking players up front. I could see us doing that if what we're doing now doesn't pay off.
Well, I think Moyes wants to play that kind of thing. But for me, and this is going to be a surprise for everyone, I'm gonna leave Bowen out, Jared. So I'm going to have Yarmolenko. I'm going to have Lanzini. I'm going to have Anderson as my front attacking 3. I think they've got a lot of they're coming to that age, especially Lanzini and Anderson, that they're in their peak performance. They need to be playing, and they've got to be playing at the top form. Now, also, I'd have Haller up front, as a target man. So that means Haller, Yarmolenko, and Anderson have all got to be playing at their top peak form. Otherwise, if I was Moyes, I'd be saying, look, I'm ready to bring Bowen on. I'm ready to bring Antonio on. They could replace any 3 of you, and they wouldn't look out of place being in that position. And that's what excites me. And if Lanzini, you're not playing well, I've got this young kid, Fornals, ready to prime and get into place. There's so much competition. And these guys at their prime age and prime ability need to step up. And this is their season 2. So that's what my views is. I reckon it will. And of course, you're going to have Souček and Rice in that other midfield. I can see nothing but positives. But, with positives come negatives. David, do you think Wilshere is going to be here by the end of the transfer window, considering he didn't even get in the squad tonight?
No, I do not. I think West Ham are going to drastic measures. I don't think he fits in with the squad. I think he has a high wage. I think they're going to struggle to find a taker. I think they may have to subsidize some of his wages. They might fail in getting rid of him, but if I had to bet my life on it, I'd say he's not going to be with West Ham come October 6th, the final day of the transfer window, and he's going to be somewhere else.
Tim, what do you reckon?
What's the question?
Wilshere, end of the transfer window, here or not?
Oh, God. How would we release him and eat the fucking money we got to pay to buy him out? I don't think so. I think we're stuck because no one's going to fucking take him on, and we're not going to get anyone to pay even half his wages. I mean, you think about it. The clubs that would go after him, fucking championship clubs, you think any of them have $50K a week to fucking pay? I think we're stuck. I think he's here. I think he's fucking training squad guy. The guy just to hang around in the gym, Shoot the
That's
shit.
a lot of money to be hanging around at the gym.
But what else? How? Please tell me, Ray. Like, how the fuck? And Charlie too. Like, how the fuck are we gonna get rid of him? How? Who's taking him? Who would even, in the right mind, with his baggage, that we should have thought of, obviously, before we got it.
My theory would be like we'd get into Inter Miami or some MLS team to buy him, and then we'd subsidize his wages. I think that's what we got to hope for.
Yeah.
Still looking for some publicity.
In my head, as you were asking that question, I started hearing America. Fuck
yeah.
Like, it starts playing in the back of my head. Honestly, I think it is. I
am the real
I think American. What a tune! What a tune! Yeah, there are clubs stupid enough to take Jack Wilshere. It's just finding one of them and convincing to do it. I think everyone looks at America because that's an obvious option because it's a path well trodden. Older English player who's sort of coming nearing to the end of their career. Oh, they're going to pop up at some random MLS team. But I think also I think he'd suit other leagues. I think he'd suit a Spain. He'd suit an Italy. Oh, Jack Wilshere in Italy would do bits, mate. Lob him in an AC Milan side, he's having a whale of a time. It's just about finding the people to actually do it.
The only thing I heard was from Rebecca's most ultimate favorite pundit, Graham Souness. He actually said that he believes, firmly that Bournemouth is and should be going after him because Graham Souness himself was a Bournemouth season ticket holder and knows that they would be such a great fit because he did play there in a stint. Wilshere did, and he thinks that they could actually afford him. Even at
I agree with you. I agree with you, Tim. I think a championship club could afford him, but they also would not be able to afford anything else after that.
Correct.
And I don't think a championship club is stupid enough to put all of their eggs in the Jack Wilshere basket. I don't necessarily disagree. I think he'd be a great player for Bournemouth, but I also don't think Bournemouth are that dumb. I think you have to look for a club where he's not the vital cog, and that's why I'm saying you look at an MLS, you look at a Italy, somewhere like that. And I think he's so supremely talented that he can work in a top league in other countries quite easily. He really genuinely is, and I think perhaps an Italian league or a Spanish league would suit him a bit more. Somewhere where he's not going to get such mercilessly hacked down would actually kind of suit him. He will have these injury problems for the rest of his life. I think realistically, I honestly don't know whether he'll be here at the end of the season because I don't know whether the owners are so desperate that they will take that money hit on it. But I can conceive of a situation in which they agree to pay 50% of his contract to release him now so he can make a move more likely. But that would mean his agent would have to go and find a club and everything else. And I don't know how willing they are for that. So we'll see. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with him. But I doubt if he does stay, he's not playing more than 5 games for West Ham this season.
Yeah, I agree with Foshizi's information about Nicolas Skira saying he's going to go to Genoa. I follow the Serie A. Genoa are kind of like the recent version of us, even worse. They just have all these square pegs in round holes, and they always finish 1 or 2 places above the relegation spots for like 5 years running. So if he does go to Serie A, Genoa has Jack Wilshere written all over it.
Who was that striker Genoa bought? The one who, at one point, he had like a really promising future, and then I checked up on him like a year later, and he was at Genoa, and I was like, oh, that's not gone well.
It's not Palacios. They had Palacios, that guy with the weird Egyptian ponytail. They had him. Not him, but
it's a great ponytail, isn't it? It's an excellent ponytail.
The Egyptian pharaoh child ponytail. I don't know what that is even called. They also had Valon Behrami last year.
They did, didn't they? It was Destro. Matteo Destro was who I was thinking of.
That's a good call.
When he was doing bits at Roma, and everyone's like, he's going to be a big thing. And then I check back later, and he's at Genoa, and I'm like, okay. Okay.
Well, there you have it. He might go there. But that's the end of the show, folks. And I am pleased to sing us out with a lovely song.
You found it. Demonetized. Thank you so much, Ray. Fucking. I swear to God.
It's not loud enough. It's not loud enough. If you talk over it, Tim, you're good.
I'm telling you. One time we had fucking our audio version of our podcast put up on YouTube, right? The American Amateur Radio, whatever. And when we won something, I can't remember what the fuck we won, but anyway, Tex had his phone up to the up to the microphone through a shitty phone. You can barely fucking hear it. It was all like staticky and shit. It was "We Are the Champions," and somehow the algorithms of YouTube, they figured it out. They found out. Oh shit! No, demonetized. Here's your warning. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like I could barely even hear it listening to the goddamn podcast, but they figured it out, man. So thanks, Ray. This was gold.
Let me just check.
Well, I just got to close. The Hulkamania song rules, but the number one WWF song of all time is "Sexy Boy" by Shawn Michaels. Yes. And I beg you to disagree with me.
I think I'm hot. I know I'm sexy. I've got the looks that drive the girls wild. Come on now, let's go.
No, that's actually different. This Shawn Michaels one is "I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy." That one, yeah.
Yeah, I got the looks that drive the girls wild. I got the moves that really move them. I'll sex you up. No, that's not lyrics. I can't remember the bit after that. But
It's just awesome. I encourage our listeners to go listen
Right,
to
right,
it.
right. That's
Real
it,
quick,
guys.
one second. No, wait. So everybody who's still left, I know they're dropping off like flies. Wait. 1 second. So we do have Friday Night Lights coming back on Friday. Like, hello, like season 2 is back, and we got 3 people lined up. But also next week, next Wednesday, Hammer Shot season 2 is coming back, and we got Baz Cox versus shit. Who the fuck do we have against? Anyway, against Las Vegas John, Las Vegas West Ham. So John Black against Baz Cox is the opening match of Hammer Shots next week. But this week, tune in and subscribe. Make sure you like the shit down below and share it with all your friends and grandmothers and stuff like that, and tell them, "Come on, you Irons."
Come on, you Irons.
Good night
So-
from me. Good night, everyone.